Yeah, our pickleball careers, but you know, I've known Kaitlyn for a long time. She, you know, was a huge tennis star in her day in college, playing at USC, and an O-High champion. That's a huge tournament. And she, you know, as we mentioned, number 38 in the world in women's tennis doubles. That's huge. And she trained at Match Point Tennis Academy as a junior. And it just so happens that that's where I coached growing up. And that's right here in Santa Ana, California, Orange County. So, yeah, Kaitlyn Christian, Orange County girl. She went to a high school in Orange. So yeah, I mean, it's so great to see her not only develop in her tennis career, but now in her pickleball career.
There we go. And she will serve to start us off here in this pool play match. Christian started off with a win yesterday in pool play over Catherine Parento in 3 games. Jorja Johnson played Mary Brasha, fell in 2. Jorja Johnson, of course, like we talked about yesterday, filling in for Brooke Buckner, not able to compete at this event. A nice 2-0 lead here early for Christian.
Side out. Zero, 2.
And Johnson takes advantage of a short, perhaps a miss-hit on the return there.
We saw Jorja Johnson yesterday here on Grandstand Court. She had a tough match yesterday against
Mary
Brasha, the local hometown girl, another one. The drop volley.
And it looked like Johnson may have had a look at the ATP, but just excellent coverage of the kitchen line from Kaitlyn Christian. I think that's one of the best parts of her game. She wants to spend as much time at the kitchen line hitting volleys as possible. The inside out there from Johnson gets it done. We're also seeing Kaitlyn Christian starting her service routine from pretty far behind the baseline, taking a few steps into that motion.
Yeah, I noticed that myself. I don't know if she's always done that, but she's taking a walk, a little stroll into her serve there.
Little serve saunter, if we want to be alliterative. But I know Christian, she hasn't always done the walk-up, but I know in recent months she's been trying to kind of vary her service position. Sometimes you'll see her go out wide or, you know, go down, not always serve from right down the tee. But you see her there walking into that one.
Point. Three, 1.
What a shot from Kaitlyn Christian. That ball was so low, and she was able to get herself in a position to really get that roll.
Gets the angle as well, looking like Connor Garnett with that Tui. Tui off the backhand. And we've retrieved the ball. 4-1 now for Kaitlyn Christian. A nice start to this one.
4-1. Point. Receiver 5.
It was a close match.
Very close match.
Side out.
Jorja Johnson gets the serve back on her side. Johnson will have 2 other matches today as well. She'll play mixed doubles with her brother J.W. Johnson and women's with Lacey Schneeman, who we saw earlier. And that's a pretty backhand from the 18-year-old.
Yes, Jorja Johnson has been doing a really good job at taking advantage of the shorter returns from Kaitlyn Christian and really punishing them.
2-5.
And Jorja Johnson opting to go to the backhand side of Kaitlyn Christian. The lob, just long, but a good look from Jorja Johnson. I like that.
I mean, at that point, when you're on the full run, it's honestly one of your only plays.
Side out. Three, 5.
And that serve must have just caught the back corner of that baseline, really set Johnson up to control the whole rest of the point. She did miss-hit the overhead, it looked like, but stayed in, no harm done. She pulls within 1.
4-5. Point.
Beautiful passing shot from Jorja Johnson on the backhand side. If I were Kaitlyn Christian, I'd, try to return a little bit deeper into the forehand of Jorja Johnson just to mix things up.
Nice response here from Johnson. It's really 1-5 now, knotted up.
5-5. Point.
Better, a little deeper. Yeah, she changed things up there after that timeout. She went to the forehand, and Jorja was able to find something there. So, look to see that change here.
Was a little deeper as well.
Absolutely.
In that return. It had a look at the volley, but pushes it wide.
Six, 5.
Ooh, just missing wide.
Almost looked for the short angle there to Jorja Johnson.
5,
Not
6.
quite there.
Side out.
I think it's really one of the first times we've seen Johnson kind of work her way up to the kitchen line. It feels like she's played a lot of her points from the baseline.
6, 5.
And it's interesting that Kaitlyn Christian did not come up to the net.
Side out. Five, 6.
It was a nice change of pace there on the serve from Christian, kind of put some side spin on it, but an even better change of pace, especially with the lob there from Johnson. And that really flips the script at that point. Not only got her back to neutral, but also an advantageous position.
Side out. Five, 6.
Christian had been stuck on 5 for a while, but she gets off it, gets to 6. All tied up here in game 1.
6-6.
And there we see again, Michelle, that, you know, no walk-up by Roar Organic.
Point.
Kaitlyn Christian so good on the move there.
Eight, 6.
Yeah, you can see Kaitlyn Christian really now targeting the forehand of Jorja Johns. She was experimenting coming in on the backhand side. It was unsuccessful earlier on in the game, and now she's finding a little something here.
And the pressure again gets the air off the forehand wing. Brings up a game point for Christian, 10-6.
Game point.
A 5-point run here for Kaitlyn Christian.
Point game.
And that is going to do it for game 1. Kaitlyn Christian takes it 11-6. She is...
Point.
And a nice start to game 2 for Jorja Johnson. Gets the air there from Kaitlyn Christian.
Side out.
And the second I say that, commentator's curse, missed serve there.
0-1. Point.
What an angle there from Kaitlyn Christian. Short backhand angle gets her on the board.
That's not the first time we saw that this game.
We saw it earlier as well. Dialing into Tui.
Point.
And it wasn't sure. Thought Johnson may have called that serve long, but I guess she didn't.
2-1. Side out.
And Christian misfires on that forehand volley again, trying to approach towards the backhand like you mentioned earlier, Michelle.
1-2.
Not having a ton of success at that spot.
Yeah, struggling on that forehand volley side. Jorja does a really good job at keeping that drive very low.
Two. Point.
That one stays in as well. Something to note with Jorja Johnson, no tennis background, or if it is, it's a light tennis background, and so she's not going to have, you know, the traditional topspin, the loopy drives that you see a lot of these, you know, former tennis players have.
3-2.
But it works for her nonetheless.
Point.
Kaitlyn Christian's going to take the timeout. Hopefully she'll recognize that, you know, Jorja Johnson says, this is just such a treat for both of us, and we're glad that everyone at home's joining in, watching with us.
Point.
Jorja changing things up now, going to the backhand of Kaitlyn Christian just to keep her on her toes.
We see the bit of a, not a timeout, but a nice little towel break there for Kaitlyn Christian, trying to slow down the momentum here for Johnson.
Point.
And it stays in a little yell, kind of a, not really a yell, but a half yell there from Johnson. Acknowledging the great shot that she hit, and she is on fire right now in game 2. 6-2.
6-2. Point. 7-2. Side out.
I like that option on the return of serve from Kaitlyn Christian, slicing that ball, keeping that ball low. That's what we saw Ben Johns doing against Connor Garnett on the off of the volleys. Forces the opponent to hit up on the ball.
Point.
Johnson opting to slice her return as well, but Christian able to handle it and get that nice angle.
Yeah, Kaitlyn does such a good job on her backhand side with that cross-court backhand. Getting down, getting low.
Side out.
Angled forehand again from Johnson. We've seen her hit that spot maybe 2-3 times in this second game. Feeling it from that wing right now.
7-3.
Ooh, Jorja taking a good look. A nice high ball in the midcourt, missing just wide.
It's a great setup though.
3-7. Point.
Just good pressure there. From the
4-7.
kitchen line from Kaitlyn Christian, cuts the lead to 3.
Side out. Seven, 4.
Jorja's going to take advantage of these short returns from Kaitlyn Christian. Kaitlyn has to find some better footwork there on the return of serve, get a little bit deeper, or get Jorja Johnson
8-4.
on the run, on the move.
Point.
That's a great point about getting her on the move. I think any time that Johnson has, you know, the time in this second game has earned a 9-4 advantage.
Side out.
I love that slice return from Kaitlyn Christian. I feel like that's where she's going to find a lot of success if she's going to be coming into the net off of that return.
You spoke about the depth. That was right inside the baseline.
Point.
Great get from Kaitlyn Christian, keeping her alive in that point.
I was a little worried that her paddle might be in danger of hitting the kitchen because that would be a fault on the volley.
Point.
And this is where things can get dangerous if you're Jorja Johnson. You've got this big lead. Potential for some scoreboard pressure here.
6-9.
This game you need to win.
Side out. Nine, 6. Side
Again,
out.
the slice return, getting those side outs, much needed side outs.
6-9. Side out.
That one off the net just goes wide. Bit of a stalemate here with Johnson leading 9-6. Johnson's been stuck on 9 for a few side outs.
9-6. Point. Game point.
Again, Johnson with the backhand. Gets the error off the forehand
10-6.
from Christian. Brings up a game point, 10-6.
Kaitlyn Christian getting Jorja Johnson on the move there. That's what she needs to do. That's what she's looking for here.
6-10. Side out. Game point. 10-6. Point
That
game,
return sails
game.
long, and we are going 3 here for the first time today on Grandstand. Jorja Johnson, a nice response. These players first here in game 3.
Point.
And this is certainly the start she
2-0.
wanted.
Side out.
Misfires on that one, though. Christian.
She's moving through her shots right now. She just needs to take her time getting up to the net. If she does that, then the quality of her shot's just going to be so much better.
Side out.
Just like that last one on the return of serve. She's balanced, she's in control, she's able to strike better. Right now it's just too much movement through the
2-0.
shots.
Side out.
That stays in there for Johnson. She's really been painting those sidelines with her drives really throughout this match, really dialed in.
0-2. Side out. Two zero. Point.
And missed return from Johnson gives Kaitlyn Christian a 3-0 advantage.
Side out. Zero three. Side out.
Again, it's just been a few loose airs here from Johnson, just unable to get anything going so far, Michelle.
Yeah, I see that too. You know, she should be confident right now. She just took game 2. She has nothing to lose.
Had a look at that one.
Point.
And speaking of time to shine, Kaitlyn Christian, 5-0 here in the third.
5-0.
After another missed return from Jorja Johnson. And the angle stays in. The third time we've seen that shot on the run from Kaitlyn Christian. Oh my gosh, Michelle.
I love that she stayed back on that point. There's no wind. If it was windy, that'd be a little bit more of a variable, but
6-0. Side out.
There we go, Johnson finding that forehand volley of Christian there.
yeah, Kaitlyn Christian's volley is just a little far behind her. She needs to stick that ball
0-6.
out in front.
Point.
And that one stays in for Johnson. She gets on the board.
Smooth from Jorja Johnson.
1-6. Side out.
Just going for those angles like she did yesterday.
Actually did have some success doing that against Mary Brasha yesterday.
A lot of success.
A lot of
She
success,
almost took game 2. Or was
It was
game 2.
2, yep, yep.
Point.
Tough serve from Kaitlyn Christian, pushing Jorja Johnson out wide, giving her that opening on the left.
7-1. Point.
Another missed return here from Johnson. I believe that's 3 in this third game. Not what you want to have with the
8-1.
pressure on. 8-1 now.
Point.
Kaitlyn Christian finding that nice high forehand volley that she's been struggling.
That is going to do it. Kaitlyn Christian, 11-6, 6-11, 11-1 over Jorja Johnson. Improves to 2-0 here in San Clemente. Good result for her. She'll look to carry that into her third match